Hi guys, today we're going to finish part 2 of the syllabus, and I'm starting off by explaining the definition of remote asynchronous instruction. I'm going to go ahead and put present so you can view it as full screen. So what is remote asynchronous instruction? Instruction that does not require having the instructor and student engage at the same time. In this method, students learn from instruction that is not necessarily being delivered in person or in real time. This type of instruction may include various forms of digital and online learning, such as pre-recorded video lessons or game-based learning tasks that students complete on their own and pre-assigned work, and formative assessments made available to students digitally. So this is basically what we're doing now, that all the tests or your assignments and activities are going to be submitted through Google Classroom, okay? So everything's going to be through online. The next slide. The next one. These are my rules whenever we have those Google Meets. I expect all my students to be on time, to wear proper attire, to choose a good quiet location, to mute your mic in order to avoid background noise, be ready to take notes, be focused and ready to pay attention, participate fully, don't dominate the conversation, ask questions, be careful with your words, keep up with assignments, and the last one's very important. Log into your email and Google Classroom daily. Remember that you have 7 classes and you need to keep up with all your 7 classes. And every day you're going to find assignments within those 7 classes, okay? So every day, just check your Google Classroom. Next slide. The next one is Memorial Junior High Classroom Etiquette. It's basically the same. Be prompt, which is be on time. Be prepared, especially with your Chromebook. Every day that you go back home, make sure that your Chromebook is charged. The next one is be respectful, not only to me as a teacher, but to your classmates. Next one is the grading policy. So the grading policy is divided into 3 sections. We have test, assessments, and major projects are worth 50% of your grade. No less than 5 grades will be taken during the 9 weeks period, and the lowest grade will be dropped. So that applies to every 9 weeks. The lowest test grade will be dropped. The next one is daily assignments. That's worth 35% of your grade, and that includes homework, notebooks, or other activities. No less than 15 grades will be taken during the 9 weeks period. And the last one, we have the 9 weeks exam is worth 15% of your grade. Grading policy. I'm going to go ahead and summarize this statement. This is whenever you're not happy with your grade or you have a failing grade, you have the opportunity to make up or redo that assignment. Now, that does not apply if you are involved in academic dishonesty, which means cheating. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this statement. The district shall permit a student who meets the criteria detailed in the grading guidelines a reasonable opportunity to redo an assignment or retake a test for which the student receives a failing grade. Student will have a reasonable opportunity to make up and redo a class assignment or examination for which the student receives a failing grade, except in cases involving academic dishonesty. Students found to have engaged in academic dishonesty shall be subject to grade penalties on assignments or tests and disciplinary penalties in accordance to the Student Code of Conduct. It is your responsibility of the student to make arrangements with the teacher to make up any failing grade. All right, the next slide. Attendance. So this year is going to be a little bit different. This is how we're going to be taking attendance. So all students must be present 90% of the time in order to be counted present. So there's 2 options. We have in-person students must be physically present or be engaged as a remote student. So for example, today you're here, and that applies only for in-person students. Today you're here, but tomorrow you decide you're not coming. But if you're engaged and you submit all your assignment, you will be counted present. Then the next one is remote. So a student that is remote must be engaged with coursework, teacher and student interactions, or submission of assignment, but it has to be on the same day. In other words, in order to be present for the day, you have to submit the assignment by 11:59 of the same day. If you don't, you're going to be counted absent. Next slide. Okay, so what to do if you're absent? Always check your Google Classroom for agendas, handouts, and assignments due dates. A student has 2 extra days to turn in any work assigned on a day a student was absent. If a quiz was administered on the day a student was absent, the quiz must be made up on the first day of the student returns. If previously assigned work was due on the day of the absence, the work is due on the first day the student returns. Otherwise, it is considered late and will only receive 70% credit. So this means that you have 2 days to turn in your assignments. If you don't, the highest you can get, it's a 70. Next, classroom and remote instruction supplies. Number 1, a pair of headphones that connects directly to the Chromebook. No AirPods or Bluetooth earbuds allowed if in-person instruction. This does not apply if you're doing remote. If you're at home, there's no problem. Number 2, science composition notebooks for notes. 3, pen or a pencil. 4, highlighter. And 5, iScience textbook. This is going to be provided by the school, okay? So don't worry about number 5. And then that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can reach me at nperea@eaglepassisd.net or in Remind. Also, I'll be attaching a Google form with questions of part 2. And I'm also attaching a acknowledgement form that you just need to write your name, yours and your parents, that you just received that form, and that's basically it. So remember, you have 2 things to do. You have your Google form with questions of part 2, and just write your name and your parents' name, and that's going to be for the acknowledgement form. If you have any questions, you can just send me a remind or a message through Google Classroom or through email. Thank you and have a wonderful day.